Chapter 4 The Secret of the Jerk Part 1 No, your eyes are not mistaken. The guy with the beautiful woman is a jerk and/or ugly guy. What is he doing with her? Can she not see? Has she not eyes? Alas! The poor male looks around, knows not who to turn to, and eventually sums up that the universe is a cruel and mysterious personage who deals out no answers, offers no solutions, and gives out no explanations, especially for the enigma of all enigmas, the beautiful woman. Obviously, something is amiss. How do these ugly to average-looking guys get such babes? How do these cruel, stupid, barbaric males get these feminine jewels? Are they following a special trick? Are they super confident? What is their secret? Or are they even aware of their secret? But what if nothing is amiss? What if this is all correct to the will of nature? Where leaves the Don Juan? Oh, there she is, the beautiful woman, the ornament of the world, the dream in flesh. She stands aloof on the platform and says, "Gentlemen, how are you to win me?" And around the platform, 1,000 mouths cry, "Confidence! Humor! Kino! Chocolate! Poetry! By ignoring you! By totally focusing on you! Puffed muscles! Flowers! Spiky hair! Endless gifts! Mirroring! Leather jackets! Eliciting values! Sparkly clothes! Bouncy personality! Romance! Dinner! Lobster! Compliments! Guitar songs!" And she laughs only to say, "These are very well and good, gentlemen, but are you not aware that imitation is suicide? You forget that confidence is experience, that puffed muscles are not to be a masculine dress, that any guy can buy me lobster, and that countless many can sing the guitar songs. Are you so unaware of what I need?" But a lone voice speaks from the floor. "You, madam, are to win me, for I am the prize to be won." And with that, she giggles in glee. "For every one of you, there are 1,000 guys willing to offer me the above. It is cute that you are different. But why am I with the ugly guy at the end? Why do I prefer the jerk?" And with this, the lone voice had no answer. Then comes the great exclamation, "Because he is a man." "Yes, but no," she snobbily laughs. "Because he is disrespectful. He is that, but no. Because he is an animal. Not at all. Because he has super ego. True, but no. Because he wears his cap backwards. Ha, no. Because he is rough and mean. Nope." And then a golden arrow shaft of voice pierced the confusion, penetrated deep within the truth, spread those warm, gooey moans of ecstasy throughout, and made her come with such surprising clarity that she screams in delight. For the voice said,
"Extreme masculinity."
"Oh, Pook!" She smiled in radiance. "How right you are!" And all the guys' mouths turned into a big O as the beautiful woman ran off the platform into the arms of Pook. Having satisfied none of her demands, what she ends up with, the ugly, average guy, becomes seemingly contradictory. Extreme masculinity? What answer can that be? Oh, women, can you give us no explanations other than the ones that send us off the cliff? Can you not explain yourselves to our perplexed male minds? Alas, it is like speaking to a block. She gives expressions, but not answers. She gives demands, but not secrets. How smart men may be until they enter a bar. How knowledgeable they seem until they're before a woman. The mystery of mysteries. There are 3 mysteries to the world: the rise and fall of civilizations, fruitcake, and why beautiful women go for jerks. Leaving fruitcake and the rise and fall of civilizations for other posts, let us concern ourselves with why beautiful women go for jerks. What is nature's secret? And likewise, a sea of mouths with authoritative tongues chant out the usual answers. Confidence, dominance, unpredictability, hard to get, selfishness, rudeness, and so on. These experts or wise sages merely look at the jerk as a fixed element and classify personality traits or even physical traits. Fools adopt the personality, physical traits, but imitation is suicide. Why go for the fool's gold when the real gold is in your grasp? There are things so simple in nature and life that we utterly confuse them and ourselves with our stupid philosophies. Jerks don't need websites like these. Sexuality is one of these. Our countless reading of seduction over the internet is full of months, if not years. Where has this got you? Yes, you feel you are always right on the edge of the secrets to end your heartaches and tensions, but at the end of the day, you are still in front of your computer. Someone said to me, "What an odd definition of man you gave, Pook. A guy not afraid of his testosterone? Surely it is more heroic." But it is entirely about testosterone. Girls are attracted to guys, not wimps, not nice guys, not chumps, but guys. Rather than trying to build and discover some killer philosophy to ease your troubles, why not accept the structure nature has already set up? The secret of the jerks is that it is so widespread, common, and plain that since it is all around us, we can't even distinguish it. Nature is process, always seeking and devouring. Nothing remains set. Everything's in cycles. Rather than classifying the actions of the jerk and merely duplicating them, let us adopt the source so the actions come natural and without thought or effort. Pook stands on the fruitcake and calls the crowd around him. "Gentlemen, do say, what type of woman will the nicest nice guy attract? Sperm whales, hags, bitches, ugly girls. Indeed, what trait commonly unites all these girls that end up with the pathetic nice guy?" The crowd remains silent. "Gentlemen, your silence most offends me. Sure, these girls may be sweet. Sure, they may be smart. Sure, they may be many things. Yet, there is one thing that they aren't. They are not feminine. They are not girlish." The men nod. "And likewise, what are these nice guys, these blobs of appeasing rolls of gooish flesh? Are these the men of the world?" "No!" These boys are not exactly feminine, but they certainly aren't masculine. They are neither. They are the androgynous blob who, without a spine, is clay to fit to any woman's desires or whims. Nice guys love women as a drowner loves a life preserver. He clings on to her because he cannot swim the waters of nature. Tossed and tossed he becomes through his love life. The masculine male. Pook walks toward a bubbly nice guy with a needle of manness. "No, the prick will hurt me!" "Fine, die a painful long death of regret, loneliness, and frustration. Any other takers?" Another nice guy volunteered. "See? This fella knows that a momentary pain is preferable to consistent suffering." Pook puts the shot into the nice guy and injects him with testosterone. Now, gentlemen, watch the effects. The nice guy no longer fears what he desires. He sees the woman he wants. He approaches her. Why do jerks approach women? To marry them? No. The jerk is operating not out of control with that head down there, but rather being influenced properly by his testosterone. He sees what he wants and goes and gets it. He does not apologize for it. He does not try to rationalize it. He does not analyze it. There are no stupid philosophies running around in the jerk's head. The nice guy gets rejected by the woman. Oh, poor nice guy. But look, something is changing. Look at the anger building up in him. Something is being charged within him. It is frustration. It is anger. The worst thing for him to do would be to cry and duck his head in the sand. Constant rejection requires one of two solutions. Either lower your standards or increase your standards in yourself. But it is true that standards do not enter the jerk's mind. He gets frustrated and angry. He tries again with much less awkwardness. Nature's system is at work here, chiseling his social exterior. He gets the dates. The nice guy gets dumped after a few dates. Oh dear, what happened? Why, perhaps the nice guy was trying to mock earlier jerk behavior and remetamorphed into an AFC eventually before his chick. Imitation is suicide. No wonder chicks are so hard for honesty. Do jerks really care on pleasing the women in the spirit of altruism and glorious relationship? Yes. Hush you. The jerks obviously do not care about the women in such a manner. Their testosterone says, "I have needs that need to be fulfilled. Entertain me." And so the jerks come off self-centered, not because they are self-centered, but because they are closer to their own male nature and seek to satisfy their thirst. The nice guy sees that fun is merely being around a beautiful woman. The jerk is a bit more active. He wants to have fun his way. She is along for the ride. It has been well known that action dates, dancing, bowling, rock climbing, etc., work much better than regular dates, coffee, dinner, movie, etc. Rather than merely matching the effect, the action date, let us focus on the cause. The jerk would obviously skateboard and play basketball than to sit at dinner and watch the girl flap her gums. Testosterone has been shown to create more action in the individual. Jerks, that is testosteronized males, do the action naturally. Rather than worrying about making yourself do action dates, get yourself in that nature set, and action dates will become the only comfortable choice you could make. The nice guy gets dumped because he hardly made any moves. Oh no. We know how the girl gets mistreated and will talk to her girly friend, the nice guy, about it. We see the abuse and we think, oh heavens, am I to be abusive to get the girl? What is this abuse? Is she really hurt? Or is she merely mad that she has failed in her mission, to sterilize and link to the masculinized dude? But the guy stands her up all the time, etc. It is not because he stands her up. It is because she knows she is not loved by him. Her feminine powers are not ensnaring him. It is a feminine failure. The girl sleeps with the jerk, and he leaves her. We, as guys, think the abuse is the jerk sleeping with the girl merely to use her, and motherly harpies try to feminize us into not doing this. Rather, the abuse is that the girl realizes she could not keep the guy. She was not woman enough. Nature's path leads to women. As men, we are governed by two masters, mind and nature, not mind and body. Nature refers to the processes and cycles that our bodies are only but a part. Both fight one another. Mind, the finest philosophies will get us the women. Nature, you bore me, unleash me. But what will get the women? Mind, calculation, seduction. Nature, instinct, masculinity. And why should you get any women? Mind, because everyone else is, and I am not. Nature, because I am male and she is female. Now let us throw some obstacles at the two. Let us say they are unceasingly unsuccessful in obtaining the beautiful women. What are your reactions? Mind, this is obviously a failure within my calculation, my framing of the events. I will solve this with more seduction research, essay writing on message boards, for I treat sexual dynamics like an academic degree. Nature. The failure is in not being male enough. Increased masculinity is the solution. But you who enraged the poets and tortured the philosophers, please elaborate. Nature. When the embryo is at 3 months, it is unisex. It is both sexes at once. Alas, from then it divides into a gender, of which we cannot choose, of which enforces a code of conduct and duties of behavior we cannot control or understand, and we call ourselves free. Mind, yes, one half turns male, the other female. It is in my books. Nature, then I shall burn your library. For nature always has more secrets than you can decipher. Gender is not all or none. There is a mix. Mind, but this is in my books. In Sex and Character, Vinegar says that from birth, males and females are divided. Some males are 70% male, 30% female. Others are 80% male, 20% female. It is vice versa for women. We know of effeminate men. We know of tomboys. Attraction is not a choice. A male that is 60% male and 40% female will attract a female that is 60% female and 40% male. A female that is 90% female and 10% male will attract a male that is 90% male and 10% female. It is a fact that some men are more feminine than others. This attraction scale is destiny. We mate with what fills the void the best. This is the mix that Vinegar speaks of, is marked in the very first chapter of his book, and made everything else possible. Nature. I wonder if you would talk then till doomsday. Your followers, your philosophers, lawyers, academics, prattle and rattle on just like you. You are completely unaware of the seasons of life that color and sparkle the world. But I hesitate. Mind, like the flow and ebb of the moon. Nature, quiet you. Weiniger and others of his ilk made good attempts at trying to discover my secrets. They tried to pop themselves out of my earthly cycle and peer upon my work with the eyes of a god. Melancholy is my vengeance. Nietzsche and Kierkegaard, I drove those two mad. For Weiniger, I made his life so unpleasant that he had to shoot himself. Mind, is this your only vengeance? Nature. No. It is reserved for anyone who frustrates my cycle. A man who persistently stays single becomes a public temptation. I chisel away at him to make him more appropriate and correct the purpose of getting the women and carrying on my work. Mind, but he will not do this, and your melancholy will not work due to the female attention he receives. Nature. I make and unmake the Adonis. The beautiful boy, refusing to use my gift for my purpose, enjoys being slaughtered by the elephant's tusk, the early, untimely death. I will not be defied. Mind. Yet, Weiniger explained you. Nature. Fool. Your mix is all wrong. It is true that it is not simply male and female. But there is androgynous, where the male levels are so low in the male that he is barely a male, or that the female levels are so low in the female that she is barely a female. Mind, you divided us before birth. Nature. And I inject you again with my touch at puberty. The boy must become a man, and the girl a woman. But, alas, many attempt to buck my ways to follow you. Nerds, geeks, we know the labels. The longer a man tries to ignore the fact of my mission and cycle, the more pain and loneliness I will add into him until he has no choice to act. Mind, you are vicious. Nature, it gets the job done. But Weiniger is wrong. We are not born onto a spectrum. Rather, we can add to it or decrease it. The element of attraction is destruction. Mind, destruction? Nature. If a woman is amazingly female, what is the result? Mind, hordes of men hunt after her. Nature, yes. Extremeness of spectrum is an anomaly that must be seeked out and destroyed. The female is feminine with matter. Girls at an early age are aware the effects their bodies have on young men. They know they are like a magnet. But who do they go for? The beautiful woman is the extreme female? Why, she is seeking the extreme male. By the actions of the jerk, who can say that he is not looking for destruction? He finds it in her, and she finds it in him. I demand sterilization of the two. The more successes they have, the more and more it is drained from them. Eventually, they settle for one mate and begin the march toward the androgynous. Mind, so the beautiful woman is attracted to the jerk because... Nature. It is better to say that the extreme female woman is attracted to the extreme male man, and this is the utterly simple secret. Jerks are not super confident, not superior in all seduction knowledge. Jerks are testosteronized males. This separates them from the nice guys who still defy the flooding of testosterone nature inflicts on them. Science of testosterone. Be a man. A man is one who is not afraid of his testosterone. This will seem incredibly basic. But to illustrate the effects, look at the effects of men who must be injected with artificial testosterone because, for whatever reason, their body isn't making enough, usually due to having HIV. One HIV-positive guy shares his differences with the before and after shots. His weight increases from 165 pounds to 185 pounds. The collar size goes from 15 to 17.5, the chest from 40 to 44. His appetite expands beyond measure. Before he was constantly napping. Now he has enough energy for daily workouts and strict work schedules. Before, depression was a regular feature. Now, it is a distant memory. With the testosterone shots, he feels better to recover from life's curveballs, more persistent, more alive. There are more effects. With the testosterone, he feels more energy. The attention span shortens. He finds it harder to concentrate on writing and feels he must exercise. The wit becomes quicker, the mind faster, and the judgment more impulsive. It is literally a rush. Without the testosterone, he finds himself more reserved. The energy still is there, but is geared towards interaction rather than action, toward pride rather than lust. He rarely looks for dates or thinks of approaching women without it. But with it, he is constantly scanning the women for potential dates and socializing. With testosterone comes increased debating type attitudes and increased anger. Driving makes him scream at the other cars and stupid drivers. This is oddly reminiscent of Thomas Jefferson's personality when he was always said to be unemotional, except when riding a horse and became overly emotional. With testosterone comes increased impatience, increased edginess, but increased self-confidence. Now, do these traits of the under-testosteronized male and over-testosteronized male match the nice guy and jerk? They do most accurately. For the rest, we require a scientist. A scientist appears. There you are. Oh, Mr. Scientist, do tell us more about testosterone.
I'd love to, Pook. Testosterone, oddly enough, is a chemical closely related to cholesterol. It was first isolated by a Dutch scientist in 1935 from mice testicles and successfully synthesized by the German biologist Adolf Butenandt. Although testosterone is often thought of as the definition of maleness, both men and women produce it. Men produce it in their testicles, women produce it in their ovaries and adrenal glands. The male body converts some testosterone to estradiol, a female hormone, and the female body has receptors for testosterone, just as the male body does. That's why women who want to change their sex are injected with testosterone and develop male characteristics like deeper voices, facial hair, and even baldness. The central biological difference between adult men and women, then, is not that men have testosterone and women don't. It's that men produce much more of it than women do. An average woman has 40 to 60 nanograms of testosterone in a deciliter of blood plasma. An average man has 300 to 1,000 nanograms per deciliter.
Okay, Mr. Scientist. You are putting this Pook to sleep. The effects of testosterone. Focus on the effects.
Certainly, Pook. Testosterone's effects start early, really early. At conception, every embryo is female, and unless hormonally altered will remain so. You need testosterone to turn a fetus with a Y chromosome into a real boy, to masculinize his brain and body. Men experience a flood of testosterone twice in their lives, in the womb, about 6 weeks after conception, and at puberty. The first fetal burst primes the brain and the body, endowing male fetuses with the instinctual knowledge of how to respond to later testosterone surges. The second, more familiar adolescent rush, squeaky voices, facial hair and all, completes the process.
Go on.
The effect of testosterone is systemic. It engenders both the brain and the body. Apart from the obvious genital distinction, other differences between men's and women's bodies reflect this. Body hair, the ratio of muscle to fat, upper body strength, and so on. But testosterone leads to behavioral differences as well. Since it is unethical to experiment with human embryos by altering hormonal balances, much of the evidence for this idea is based on research conducted on animals. A Stanford research group, for example, as reported in Deborah Blum's book, Sex on the Brain, injected newborn female rats with testosterone. Not only did the female rats develop penises from their clitorises, but they also appeared fully aware of how to use them.
What?
Indeed, but let me continue.
Yes, I am sorry.
And these female rats were trying to have sex with other females with merry abandon. Male rats who had their testosterone locked after birth, on the other hand, saw their penises wither or disappear entirely and presented themselves to the female rats in a passive, receptive way. Other scientists, theorizing that it was testosterone that enabled male zebra finches to sing, injected mute female finches with testosterone. Sure enough, the females sang. Species in which the female is typically more aggressive, like hyenas in female-run clans, show higher levels of testosterone among the females than among the males. Female sea snipes, which impregnate the males and leave them to stay home and rear the young, have higher testosterone levels than their mates. Typical male behavior, in other words, corresponds to testosterone levels whether exhibited by chromosomal males or females.
But does this apply to humans?
The evidence certainly suggests that it does, though much of the proof is inferred from accidents. Pregnant women who were injected with progesterone, chemically similar to testosterone, in the 1950s to avoid miscarriage had daughters who later reported markedly tomboyish childhoods.
Incredible.
Girls born with a disorder that causes their adrenal glands to produce a hormone like testosterone rather than the more common cortisol. The moving story, chronicled in John Colapinto's book, As Nature Made Him, of David Reimer, who as an infant was surgically altered after a botched circumcision to become a girl, suggests how long-lasting the effect of fetal testosterone can be. Despite a ruthless attempt to socialize David as a girl and to give him the correct hormonal treatment to develop as one, his behavioral and psychological makeup was still ineradicably male. Eventually, with the help of more testosterone, he became a full man again. Female-to-male transsexuals report a similar transformation when injected with testosterone. One, Susan Drew Seidman, described her experience in the Village Voice last November. "My sex drive went through the roof," Seidman recalled. "I felt like I had to have sex once a day or I would die. I was into porn as a girl, but now I'm really into porn." For Seidman, becoming a man was not merely physical. Thanks to testosterone, it was also psychological.
The entire series is available on YouTube for free. But if you'd like to own a copy and support my work, you can purchase the 10-hour audio and PDF on Gumroad. The link is in the description.